Well, Jim and I actually spoke about this on our last podcast together. Basically, he gets the equivalent of like the viewership of a Super Bowl. The difference is when he talks about your brand, it's not going to be through a commercial. It's going to be kind of like a Tim Tebow being on the field and saying, hey, I really like this, check this out.
Yeah.
And you can't get that sort of, placement in the Super Bowl, but so you have Jimmy that's like a one-off that's like more viewership in a year than the Super Bowl would get. But what's interesting is you now have 10 million videos being uploaded every hour. You have over 300 million content creators. There's so much content now where if an organization really wanted to invest in, truly modeling how to drive success with AI and with all these content creators, they could have the equivalent of a Super Bowl ad every week. And in China, I think we're going to see a lot of the trends in China happen over here, where there's over 150, I believe, video platforms that are relevant. But if you look at Ozzy Osbourne and King Charles, they're the same demographic. They're the same age, they're from the same place. They've both been married twice, and guess what? I'm sure they eat different food. I'm sure they listen to different music. I'm sure they like to communicate differently.
Yeah.
And so what we've learned, if you have three people that live on the same street, and there's a purpose of me sharing all this. If you have three people that live on the same street, let's say in LA, and let's say they're the same race, they have the same gender, they're the same income. Most likely all three of them are going to be very different, and one of them is going to have much more in common with someone in Mumbai or London or Iceland than they're going to have with the other two people. We're very emotional and different creatures.
Yeah.
And so being able to understand psychographics and be able to do that with social, you have to be able to leverage NLP, natural language processing, computer vision, to be able to create a vector or a connection of like, based on who your audience is, what are the other audiences out there that have overlap?
Yeah.
What are the other content creators out there that have overlap where you can like really organize people based on interest? And the reason why I'm saying this, now that these tools are coming to the surface, where we have a lot of AI tools on TubeBuddy, with the 15 million creators that use that, as well as we do a lot of tools for brands and enterprise as well. To be able to contextualize the audience really makes it so you can see what's trending around the areas that you're maybe passionate to create around. As I mentioned earlier, the majority of the data out there is unstructured data. The way to really leverage unstructured data is machine learning. I believe this is the time where content creators can be much more data driven. They can be much more analytical and contextualizing both what contents can be successful, as well as whether it's like A/B testing the thumbnail, as well as being able to contextualize who their audience is and what their interests are, where I think it's going to create much more of a roadmap, taking out a lot of the guesswork of helping people be much more successful. And the more content there is, and the more opportunity there is, the more data there is to really, navigate and help you make a good decision.